Hello guys, welcome to this week's McInnes Marketing Minute. We're going to start off with a negative and a positive. Negative is I'm alone, Jay is away for the week, camping, but everyone thought I was going to take a little dig at him. It would be an easy time to, but no, I do miss my partner in crime. On the positive though, we're coming at you from 604 550 Taylor Street, a beautiful 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom listing, which we're going to show you around in and around this video. But today we're talking a little bit about the anomalies in the market right now. To kind of really understand that, we're gonna have to go back a little bit briefly. So in case you've been living under a rock, there was a pandemic called COVID-19, came around, it's still around. That shut us down pretty much from mid-March through to April. From then we saw sales numbers decline, inventory levels decline. But since then, April, May, June, and now what's looking like the preliminary numbers in July, things are starting to move onwards. Inventory has risen up substantially, so it's home buyer demand, and now they're at more of a balanced level. And to be honest, depending on who you speak to and the way that you look at the figures, home buyer demand is still on the up, pushing us back more towards a seller's market. But even though that's happening, if you speak into some realtors out there, if you're working with realtors, if you're looking at homes out there yourself, whether you're buying or selling, you may have noticed a few anomalies that are happening. So if the market is going up or supposed to be going up, why is it that some listings that look good are just sitting on market? Some of them are underpriced and just not selling. So let's take a look at one of these anomalies. And I'm just using an example here just to cut to the point, but take Central Lonsdale. Central Lonsdale, a beautiful area. They've got some great homes. They've got some newer homes as well. You've got condos like Prescott, Centerview. You've got a lot of recreation around the area as well. Shops, there's Lower Lonsdale Market around. You've got some great views from the area. A very popular area, especially before COVID-19 took place. Well, we've done a couple of showings there this week alone, and in talking to the agents, they've been on for a month or two, and we're their first or second showings. These are not properties that are bad properties as well. They're relatively new, well maintained, good maintenance fees. There's nothing going on with the building, no levies coming up at all. There's nothing funky about them. It's just, oddly enough, that area for that size of property just seems to not be moving. And we found the same with 1-bedrooms and 2-bedrooms in the area. Another one that we've been finding as well is days on market. So typically, days on market is a large contributor to your negotiation as a rule of thumb when it comes to buying or selling a property. Think about it. If you go and look at a property that's been on the market for 3 or 4 days versus you look at a property which has been on the market for 3 or 4 months, rule of thumb would have it that you're going to have a lot more ability to negotiate with the one that's been on the market for 3 or 4 months because it's been sitting there. Well, something can be on market for 2, 3 or 4 months and it's still a good quality product, and then it can just go. It can just go in multiple offers. We just had one that was sold recently. It's well priced. It was in Cole Harbour. It was on the market for a couple of months. We held out as we kind of saw this was happening in the market, and we went in multiple offers near asking price. And previously, if someone's looking at 2 or 3 months in the market, it would not be of any interest. They think something's wrong with it and they'll possibly avoid it. And then another phenomenon which we've been having is odd homes are selling fast. For example, before COVID, if you had a property which was on the market, priced at the rest of the market, but it had a fixed term lease until the end of next year, so December 31st, 2021, it's very, very difficult to get that market or get that property bought because of the circumstances. There's a fixed term lease. It may be around market value that they're getting, maybe under market value that they're getting. Typically, if somebody wants to move in, they can't move in. And if somebody's looking for an investment property, they have to be happy with the existing tenants and the fee in which they're paying as well in order to go for it. We've seen these properties sit on market for a year, 2 years before, whereas we've just had one in Deep Cove. It's exactly that same scenario, market rent, sold in multiple offers in 7 days. These little anomalies are kind of happening in the market right now. Even though overall the market statistics say that we're on the rise, you could go to certain areas and certain homes and it looked like the complete other story. And really that is not the case. So, and this video isn't brought to you in order to give you an answer as to why these are happening. It's more brought to you in terms of just getting you to open your mind. So if you're a buyer, don't count out those ones that have been on for 2 or 3 months, because there are going to be other people looking at those properties as well. And they could be phenomenal, great properties for you. You just have originally cast them out because you think the market's on the rise. So if it's been on the market for 2 or 3 months, there's something wrong with it. And also, if you do find something like that, don't think that you've got all of the time in the world as well. Like we said, our property sold after 2 or 3 months on the market in multiple offers. If you're looking at it and you're interested, it's likely other people are as well. And it's just these areas catching up. And then when it comes to selling a property as well, and we kind of touched on this over the last couple of weeks, it's not really the time to be testing the market. Although the market trends are in the right direction, we're still playing by post-pandemic rules, and there is no rule book written out for that yet. We're kind of figuring it out as we go. So trying to go with the risky approach and trying to get as much as possible is maybe not your best bet moving forward. Just make sure it's really thought out before you go ahead and do so. Don't forget these figures as well that show where the market is at. They're actually based on Greater Vancouver as a whole. So we always tell you to break that down. So if you're looking in downtown Vancouver, you can't be looking at what's happening in North Burnaby. They could be two different stories. So make sure you're looking in particular of what's happening in your area and understanding the full realm of what's going on in order to make the best decision. And I think that's it for this week. Jay will be back next week. Thank you for joining us. McInnes Marketing.